hello. Good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to the 2014 Occupy National Gathering Planning Call. I'm Lisa Weryu with Occupy Sacramento. I'll be facilitating today's call. Jackie will be doing the technical assisting, and Chaz will be taking notes. I'll just quickly run over the procedures that we use to speak for the benefit of new folks, which I think we may have one or two new people on the call. Currently, your mics are all on mute. If you wish to speak, press number 1 on your telephone keypad, and I will call on you as soon as I can. When I call your name, you can start speaking. If you just want to show approval for something somebody's saying, press number 2. If you want to show disapproval, press number 3. And if you have a direct response to something that someone's saying, press number 4. If you're having some technical difficulties of any kind, press number 5, and Jackie will help you with that. When you're through speaking, say, I yield, or I check, or I'm done, so we know you're finished. And because we have a fairly long agenda, please keep your comments to 2 minutes or less. If you want to follow along, the agenda is listed at, it's a very easy URL. It's natgat2014.titanpad.com/4. And if you want to follow along with the notes or contribute to the notes, it's very same URL, except it's a /7 at the end. So it's natgat2014.titanpad.com/7. The agenda for today will be, we'll start out with our check-ins, announcements, and then we'll have report backs from the various subgroups. And then we will go into some of our old business. We've got several proposals from the All Streets group. They have a proposal in place for doing our cooking, kitchen work, etc., printing, actually setting up the guidebook, physical program, doing the artwork, etc. And after that, we are going to discuss a new platform for communicating. It's called Loomio, and it has some similarities with Google Groups, except you can do more. You can actually vote on this. In addition, you can have conversations, and we can discuss the pros and cons of that versus using the email lists or Facebook or other ways to communicate between calls. Okay, I will go ahead and start the check-ins. So I will go ahead and announce your name and go ahead and introduce yourself and what occupier or other group you are with, and what you're hoping to see from NatGat, what you're excited about. So we'll start off with Chaz. Go ahead, Chaz.
Hi, everybody. This is Chaz from Occupy Pittsburgh. I'm excited about the West Coast NatGat for many reasons, and I can't wait to hear everybody's ideas. Check.
Okay. Sally, go ahead.
Sally from Occupy Bergen County and various other groups, Occupy Sandy, New Jersey et al. I'm looking forward to another great event like we had last year, bigger and better. Check.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, Jackie, go ahead.
Hi, everybody. It's Jackie from the hills of Western New York. I'm excited that we're going to have finance, have a donate button soon, and I'm also excited about Loomio. Check.
Okay, great. Thank you. Next, Donna. You just joined us. Go ahead. We're doing check-ins.
Oh, hi. This is Donna. Just trying to get some rest after Friday and catching up on things. Good to be with you all again. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. And Gandalf, Go ahead, your mic is on.
Hello, everybody. Gandalf from Occupy Sacramento. I'm really excited about the whole picture of the way things are developing, and particularly interested in the feedback we're getting about the venue. I'm really hoping we come up with something wonderful for a venue. Okay, check.
Thank you. Kathy, go ahead. We're doing check-ins and anything you're excited about with the NACAT.
You caught me just as I was calling in and switching phones because my battery was dying. This is Kathy from Occupy Sacramento, and I can't think right now. It's just, just getting on too many demands around here. I'm hustling into my room and lock myself in. Over.
Okay, great. Thank you. Delphine, go ahead and check in.
Hi, it's Delphine from Occupy Sacramento. Check.
Great, thank you. And next we have Michael. Go ahead, check-ins.
Hi, this is Mike and Charlotte. We're over here in Roseville, and we just wanted to hear what was going on. Check.
Okay, great. Thank you, Michael and Charlotte. And I should tell you, it sounds like there's a little feedback coming from your phone. Do you want to go ahead and check in again? I want to see if that's fixed. Go ahead, Michael and Charlotte.
The feedback's here. Just go ahead and check in. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, great. Thanks. And we've got Cal. Cal, go ahead.
Hey there. How you doing? I'll be, like Jackie, I'll only be here for the better part of the first hour, and then we have our core Inter-Occupy call to go to on the second Wednesdays of every month, or almost every month. Let's see. I've also wanted to let everybody know that the links to the agenda and the notes documents are, as well as the 5 hand signals, have been posted to the participant dashboard, which you can find in the reminder you got for this call about 2 hours before the call started. There'll be a link to that. And if you get up there, that's how you can get stuff from us. And with that, check.
Oh, great. Thank you for that reminder, Cal. And finally, I'm Lisa with Occupy Sacramento, and I'm getting excited too about all the different people. The mime troupe sounds like they're definitely coming, and I've heard of some other people who want to participate. So that takes care of all the check-ins. Looks like we've got about 12 folks on the call right now, but I have a feeling we'll pick up a few more. We are going to now move into report backs, which can be a little bit longer. 3 minutes for up to 3 minutes for report backs sounds good. And yes, if we can keep it to 90 seconds or so for just regular comments, that would be great. Okay, for our first report back, would anyone like to speak for outreach? Go ahead and press number 1. Anybody from Outreach Committee? Please press number 1. Going once, going twice. Let's move on to the media work group. Please press number 1 if you want to report back for media. Don't be shy. Okay, this is going to be very quick report backs. Anybody want to report back for finance? Please press number 1 to report back for the finance. Okay, looks like Jackie has put her hand up. Jackie, go ahead.
Yeah, not too much different from last week, but we do now have a couple of fiscal sponsors to choose between. Well, 2-tiered. Should we use a fiscal sponsor, and then which one? At any rate, it's gone out in email. It's also on Lumio. I hope everybody who hasn't goes and takes a look at it. There's also a Google Doc with info about them, and then hopefully we will vote next week. Check.
Okay. Jackie, if for some reason we do have time at the end of the call, did you want to talk about the fiscal sponsors in general and what they do and why we might need one? I checked.
Oh, sure. We can do that if we have time.
Okay. Let me just add that down to the end of the agenda. Okay. Okay, let's see. After finance, we have workshops program. Does anybody want to report back from that group? I see Cal. Go ahead.
Sure. And by the way, a reminder that Jackie won't be on the call at the end. She won't be on for the second half hour. Yeah, we're still waiting for some people to weigh in on scheduling. We've restarted the scheduling conversation a few days ago, and I'm probably going to ask somebody else to bring that to completion because I am just so busy that this is going to get dropped if I continue to hold it. So I'm probably going to ask Sally to do it because she's really good at those things, and she's the one who narrowed the times down to 2 possible times. If she can get that decision completed in the group, we'll have a meeting before next week, hopefully, and we'll be able to handle all these workshop-related items. Check.
Does that also cover speakers, too?
Yeah, workshop speakers, anything program-related will be that, and we'll have to be working, obviously, very closely with the All Streets folks on that as well. And while I've got the line here, I'm still working on the first draft of that letter, so that should happen by this weekend, I think, and then we'll get the other people. There was a bunch of people who raised their hand last week to work on that letter, so we'll have a collaborative process to have everybody, weigh in on it and make suggestions and comments and additions. So I'm just going to kick it off. That's it. Check.
Okay. Thank you, Cal. You got twinkles from Sally on that. Okay. Let's see. For our next work group, if anybody wanted to report anything back from All Streets, go ahead and press number 1. And if not, if there are any report backs for admin or tech, go ahead and press number 1. Okay. Finally, if anybody would like to, Cal, go ahead.
Well, that was just a reminder that what's not on the list that often gets missing is to hear a report back from Sacramento, which might be what you were about to say.
You took the words out of my mouth. Yes. I was going to ask Gandalf to report back because I wasn't at the last GA. So, Gandalf, I'm going to open up your mic, and if you can report back on the NatGat discussion at the last Occupy SAC GA. Go ahead, Gandalf.
All right. I perhaps should have written something for this. I'm trying to, scroll back to the last meeting that we had. The one thing that stood out for me, we talked about the financing, I know, the 501c3, C4. There was a lot of controversy about how we can somehow build up the financing of this venture and what are the nuts and bolts of it. And we still seem to be kind of struggling with the details of that. We're still working things out. I think the most important issues were around venue. We feel the pressure of making decisions on that, a final decision on the venue, but we're still exploring, still researching, still getting report backs from people who've been working with people. One of the new suggestions, I think, is called Riverwalk. It sounded very attractive and interesting, and the person who was giving feedback on it was kind of optimistic that if we could use that venue, it would be very effective. But we have not been able to come to decision points yet. We're still bringing in input from as many sources as possible, and each General Assembly we get feedback. The one thing that we have decided to do is extend the the meetings for planning of the National Gathering, we are going to meet on the opposing Saturdays at McKinley Park. First and third are the General Assemblies, and on second and fourth, we're going to have 1 o'clock meetings at the park, strictly on the National Gathering issues, and trying to expedite all of these different irons we have in the fire as much as possible and bring things together. I could go on, but I think that's kind of the flavor for me of what the highlights were. I yield.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Gandalf. Yes, the venues and for my you've got you've got twinkles from Sally and Jackie on that, and for my part, I'm going to develop some sort of a spreadsheet matrix so we can compare all of the pros and cons of these places. I mean, for example, the store, it's actually an old Gottschalk store out in Woodland. It is a little ways away, and it would cost us, I hear, $1,000 a night. However, we would have air conditioning, which would be lovely to have, and we would have, of course, free bathrooms and running water. So I'm going to create that and circulate that to this list and also to the Occupy SAC planning. We've had a couple people join the call. Carrie, go ahead, and if you want to check in, your mic is on. Carrie? I bet Carrie is on mute. So let me go to Julia. Julia.
Hi.
I wanted to. Who are you with?
I am Julia with Occupy Savannah, Occupy Marines, Occupy Police, Occupy a number of occupations. I'm Julia Clark organization. We also participate in the Culling Corruption campaign and assist at times with WikiLeaks. I wanted to see if I could touch base with the media group at this meeting. I've been swamped. We've had the latest breach on the internet, Heartbleed, which is a very funny name for that, I thought. And I wanted to touch base with the media group and let her know that I had a buffer account that might make doing the Twitter so much easier. I just hadn't gotten over there, and we're kind of all spread out. I didn't even know if there was a meeting today. I just took a chance and gave a call. And I know that they had proposed Lumina. I don't know if we've gotten to that.
Yes, we're actually going to be discussing that a little bit later in the call. We'll be discussing that, Lumio too. So
I just opened up my emails, and it's like 20, 30, 40, 50, something like that. It's beyond one page.
I know. So yeah, we're just actually doing the check-in right now. But I'm hoping we'll have a really good, robust conversation on Lumio and good ways to communicate between calls. So
okay, so I'm checking in and I'll check.
Okay, great. Thank you. You know the drill. Yes, say check when you're done. I appreciate it. And in case you're not too familiar with these calls, when you want to speak, you press number 1, you press number 2 to show approval, 3 disapproval, 4 if you'd like to make a direct response to something someone's saying, and 5 if you've got tech problems. Okay, let me see if Carrie, are you there? Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello. Yes, I'm here. Thank you. I'm at the mechanic shop on hour number 4.5 now. Totally thought I'd be out of here. So aloha, everybody. This is Carrie from Hilo. Check.
Oh, okay. Thanks for joining us. Cal, your mic is on. You said you had an announcement?
Yeah, your mic was off. You turned your mic off.
Oh, my God.
I'm here. Yeah, so announcement is that if you haven't seen it yet, about a half an hour or an hour or something like that before the call started, I got out the second doodle for the rescheduling of this to pick times from among the times within the 4 to 8 Eastern time range. So a couple of people have already voted, but vote early, vote often about which of those times. It seems like, just to recap from last week, it looks like the only time that worked for everybody, that worked well for everybody, seemed to be moving the call earlier but on the same day. So we're going to try and see how many people want to pick one of those times for earlier, and then by next week we'll make a decision. I just wanted to mention that. It was supposed to have gone out a week ago on the same night we had the call, and for some reason it just got trapped in my drafts folder. So for some reason it didn't actually get sent, even though I remember explicitly hitting the send button. Anyway, that's out and ready to go. Check.
Oh, great! Thank you for doing that, Cal. Let's see. Julia has a direct response followed by Kathy. Julia, go ahead.
I was wondering, is there a place online where we can stream this audio? I live remotely and travel a lot too, so I use my phone as my toggle, and that pretty much ties up my computer line when I'm on the phone, or using one of the throwaway phones, which then that kind of gets at about $10 a half hour. So, is there a way that we can stream this call online?
Cal, you can answer that question. Go ahead. Cal? Cal, did you?
Sorry,
have
I had myself on mute. Sorry. Julia,
we're just a pair today, aren't we?
Julia, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Julia, are you
yes,
are you saying that you have access to a computer? Do you have access to a computer while you're doing that? And if so, is that a Mac or a PC?
I'm on a PC.
So there's an application you can download, and I don't remember the name of it. I'll have to find it, dig it up. If somebody sends me an email, I can try to get it. There's one for the Mac and one for the PC where you don't have to dial in. You can just it's like you can do it over the phone if you have a headset for your computer, and then you don't have to tie up your phone, if that's what you're asking about.
Yeah, that's kind of the goal, because I can't look at any of the I can't move around the internet when I'm on this line. I'm kind of stuck just listening to y'all, so I can't work. I can't do anything that would pertain to the internet, because this phone is my internet. It's the official business line, and that's what ends up. Anyway, point being, so there is an app out there for.
Yeah. Sorry.
Cool.
Go ahead. I thought you were done. There's a delay on my end, so sometimes when people pause, I think they're done, and I apologize. So please continue.
Okay. I'll matter of fact, if you could tell me what it is, I'd probably hang up and go look for it.
Well, actually, I'm going to see if I find it. It's called MC Dialer, as in Maestro Conference, MC Dialer, and I think you can get it off the Maestro Conference site somewhere. But if somebody sends me an email, I can go dig it up and post it so everybody can get access to it. That way, you don't even have to use up your cell phone time. It's got the same quality as a voice over IP, so your sound quality, both for speaking and hearing, is going to have an impact based on what else you're doing on your computer. So it's kind of like Skype in that regard. But what it does is you come up and you just type in your PIN number for the call, and it connects you just like that without having to actually dial a call. And you get a keypad and everything. Check.
I think maybe Carrie's interested in that too. Cal, do you want to give your email address in case anybody is interested in using this? I check.
Yeah, you can send an email to. Well, I was just thinking if somebody sends me an email, then I can just get it and make it available to everybody. I don't want to just. There's no reason that anybody can't use this. So somebody. Yeah. So my address though is cal@interoccupy.net. but I'm going to try to dig it up while we're on the call. Check.
Okay. Great. I'll announce it if you get that. So, okay. Kathy's been waiting very patiently, and then we will have Sally. So, Kathy, go ahead.
No, I was just trying to alert you that you had your mic off. That's all.
Thank you. Yes.
It's been a while.
Cal informed me. Thank you very much.
Sure.
I need minders. Okay, Sally, go ahead. You've got a direct response.
Yeah, I just sent Cal the reminder email he wanted, so check.
Okay, good. Thank you. Okay. All right. Let's see. I think the next thing we had on the agenda was the vision statement. I know that Gandalf drafted a vision statement, and we posted it in a couple places, in Lumio and to the NG 2014 email list. So if anybody read it or has a comment on it, I personally like it. But if you have a comment, go ahead, press number 1. I'm wondering if there would be a better place to post this. If anybody has an idea of a better place, Sally, go ahead.
Okay, I saw the one vision statement that he had read before. I understand. Was there another one, and was that also posted? I was kind of in a rush this afternoon when I was reading this stuff. Check. Oh yeah, here it is.
It was the one that he read on the phone several calls ago.
Yep. Oh, I see. And then seat at the table. Okay, cool. Thank you. Check.
Okay. All right, Julia. Go ahead.
I think it's posted on the. Is it posted on the Titan pads also? That's the tool that I'm using mostly outside of the. Most likely, I'll use the Lumina. The emails I kind of just have to zoom on through them. I haven't even. I think there's 40 of them. I haven't even opened them. So I think it's on the Titan pad also. If I'm incorrect, let me know.
That's a different one, but that is actually a different one that's posted there. But I think maybe that would be the best place to post it. Does anybody have any opinions on posting it? There's a separate Titan pad. Sally, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. I've got the vision proposed NatGat 2014 proposal invitation vision statement open. Do you want me to add the other 2 statements to that same pad as well? Or are we talking about?
That would be wonderful. And Jackie,
right, I'll do that while we're talking.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Sally. Make these happen. Okay, so in sum, please go to the Titan pads, to the vision statement pads, and read the latest one, which is quite a bit shorter. It's a couple paragraphs, and go ahead and weigh in on that for a vision statement, and we'll move that for next week's business. Okay, now into new business. We have some proposals from the All Streets group, and I'm sorry, I'm neglecting Gandalf. You've got a direct response. Go ahead. Your mic is on.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that I had added a second statement about it's titled "Seat at the Table," which is separate from the statement that I read a few weeks ago. So if there's any confusion, there is a second statement that I added since the original statement. It adds to the issue, to the vision statement. Anyway, so just to clear that up, I yield.
I included both of them, yes. Yes, thank you. Okay, Sally, go ahead.
Yeah, just confirming that I have posted the 2 statements from Gandalf right below the little line of squiggles as draft vision statement and second statement, and then the old Occupy National Gathering 2014 vision statement comes right in after those. Check.
Oh, that couldn't be better. Thank you very much, Sally. Okay, to move on to the first item of new business, the All Streets proposals. I'm not sure which one we want to go to first. There is the, I guess we could go to the way they're listed here on the agenda, the Guidebook Guru, and this is to clarify that All Streets is doing the Guru Guidebook physical program, the artwork, layout, etc., but not actually making the schedule, contacting speakers, etc. alone, because that is a National Gathering work group task. So if you have comments on that, please go ahead and raise your hand. Number 1 or number 4 will do it. We've got Sally. Go ahead.
No, that's old.
Okay.
No worries.
Okay. Donna, go ahead.
Hi, yeah. Thank you. I just wanted to clarify. Are you saying then that All Streets' only involvement is in making the schedule at this point? Are they not also working on some presentations or art galleries as well? I yield. Thank you.
Okay. As I understand it, yes, they are working on some art galleries, but I think the confusion came about when it seemed like they were actually setting a schedule for us, which seemed like they were really jumping the gun because we haven't even decided what we want is on our schedule yet. And the work group working on that hasn't yet to even meet and have a conference call. Okay, next we've got Jackie. Go ahead.
As I said last week, I put that on the agenda on March 19th when the confusion for me arose. And so I don't know if we can, I wanted us to make sure we clarify ahead of time. But I don't know if that, has to wait until the talk with All Street or what. But I would really feel comfortable if the group, if we understood what exactly we were doing. I think we have verbalized it, but it hasn't been like an actual decision. And I'm not sure where to go from there. Chuck.
Thank you, Jackie. Cal, go ahead.
I remember to take myself off of mute this time. 2 things. One, before I forget it, I located and got myself a copy of both the Mac and the PC version of that MC Dialer application, which has been revised, so it actually might work better than before. We're just trying to sort out where to put it so people can download it. It's way too big to email. It's like 27 megabytes, so we need to put it up on a site where you can actually download it as a file. So between Jackie and me, we'll figure out where to put that, and then we can get it so people can download it and dial in using the MC Dialer. That's the first item. Second item is about All Streets. So a reminder that we're in the process of getting a draft letter to them together to clarify and we'll outline where the confusion is and potentially some of the disturbance and move to try to clarify with them about the roles of both this planning group, the working group, and other groups who they seem to all have their fingers in the pie of each of those groups to some degree. But as far as I know, they're involved with, they've made noises about being involved with the schedule and specific workshops and speakers and things like that. Apart from that, they're involved with probably most anything artistic, since they are an artist collective. It seems to me that they are going to be heavily involved with artistic expression in whatever forms that is, as well as involved with a lot of logistics things, such as things related to the kitchen, I think, and the printing and some other logistics things as well. So my understanding is that's where we stand with it, and that's my understanding of their purview from my own. That's my opinion. Check.
Cal, so we'll probably have the letter next week to vote on. I was a little concerned, maybe needlessly, that are they hard at work on a schedule, and should they be told to stop working on it? I check.
I think that's a decision for this group to decide if they want to try to make that kind of communication. I don't have an opinion about that one way or the other. Check.
Okay, maybe I'll just throw that out a little later. Maybe make a proposal, because I would hate for them to say, "Well, why didn't you tell us you felt this way before we put in another 60 hours of work on this?"
Well, as a process suggestion, I suggested if you're thinking about doing it later, you might just want to do it now, since this is we're actually having a conversation about it right now. I don't see if you think it's worth doing and getting a decision from this group. Why don't we just do it now? Check.
Okay, I will do it. I do want to get to there are a couple more people. I did get some twinkles from Carrie, Julia, and Gandalf on that. There are a couple more people on Stack, though, that wanted to weigh in on this, and they've vanished. If you had pressed number 1 to be on Stack, please press it again. Okay, go ahead. We'll have Sally followed by Donna and Chaz. Go ahead, Sally.
Yeah, I have kind of been remiss. Sorry about the tea kettle in the background. I have kind of been remiss in not reaching out to them, but I was kind of waiting for this letter to be put together. And I do think, I note there, in terms of logistics, they are not interested in print logistics. They are interested in putting the booklet together, but it's up to the National Gathering to do the logistics on the printing, and probably in Sacramento, because it doesn't make sense to schlep a whole lot of paper around the country. As far as speakers and programming and workshops and so forth, I think the speakers group needs to get together, and that's the committee that should kind of reach out to all streets, in my particular opinion. Check.
Sally, since you seem to really be in contact with them, are they working real hard on setting up?
In contact with them for a while. I was briefly in contact with them, and Dallas brought me some of their artwork. But as I said, between my crazy busy schedule and knowing that in the back of my mind somewhere that the letter was going to happen, it's kind of been on the back burner, and I shouldn't have let it sit on the back burner so long. So sorry about that, Check.
Okay. All right. Well, we have to decide how and who going to contact them. Donna, go ahead.
Hi. I'm sorry. I just have to unmute myself. Okay. Just a couple of ideas as well while this process is being formulated. Since we started the calls in December, I'm sure that many of the people that have been on the calls for a while have been contacting or had ideas and thrown it out there to people they knew about being speakers or having workshops. But since, it's been a while since we've been on the calls, I just suggest that perhaps not only putting a call out to all streets to find out if they have been compiling speakers or working on that at all, but certainly to put that out to everyone that's been involved, because I know that initially people plan their speaking schedules far in advance, and we're now, I think, a little less than 4 months till the actual event. And so we're running, to the point where we really need to get confirmations and dates out to potential speakers. I know initially a lot of people did research and asked people if they'd be willing to speak, but at that point, and for the past 4 months, we have not had a date. So I think that many people might have had ideas and or contacted people. So I just suggest, number one, that some type of email go out to everyone who may have had ideas, so that they have a chance to be able to bring this program together and see if they had any people that were interested we haven't heard from yet. And then also, I'm kind of confused, and I'd like some clarification. Again, I'm trying to do all of this on my phone. It's very difficult to keep up with all the emails and all the different groups on a phone. And so I'm not really sure about the speakers group. If someone could just clarify that. Certainly, I think last week we talked about having some type of liaison to the All Streets group. And I wanted to put on record now while I'm thinking about it that if the programs are going to be printed in Sacramento, I am, a graphic designer, as well. So if they need someone to have the files emailed and liaise between a printer in Sacramento, then just so someone knows ahead of time, I can help them with that. If someone needs to put that down now or in the letter that we're about to write to them about their requirements. If they, if you're going to suggest that we do the printing in Sacramento, if you wouldn't mind suggesting that we do have someone here, which would be me, and I would, definitely volunteer to help with this since it's very easy for me to liaise between the art files that they've prepared and the printer to make sure that everything gets printed properly and there are no mistakes in the printed programs. That's something that I can help with. I yield.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Donna. We've got loads of direct responses and people on stack. I think the first one was Julia, which will be followed by Cal and then Jackie. Julia, go ahead.
Hi, I reviewed the emails. I thought that there was supposed to be one for a liaison to make contact with the street group also, it would only make sense really to have the stuff printed in Sacramento. I never did see that email. If it was emailed to me, I never seen it and didn't make it over to the Twitter realm to say hello or email her or anything like that. I think the best place, though I don't know if you're working on a phone, if it's a good place, but I think the best place to be able to coordinate what speakers are coming up and get input on it at a preliminary stage would be the pads, and then put it over on Lumina once there's something to decide on. There's a lot of groups to keep up with, and I can't do it on email alone. Check.
Okay, thank you, Julia. And I should mention please try to keep your comments to 90 seconds. And we've got so many people on the call and so many people want to talk. So when you hear the gong, try to wrap up the sentence that you're saying. Next up is Cal. Go ahead.
Okay, so this is a response to Donna because she had a bunch of clarifying questions. The first one is, yes, Julia stepped up to be the liaison, as she just said, so I just want to echo that. Secondly, to Julia and to Donna, so the next step was a draft email to be given to All Streets, outlining a bunch of things, and I've actually made a list of the things that are going to outlined already. And yes, you beat me to it. I was going to put this up on a pad. That's definitely the easiest way for us to collaborate. That's part of what I meant by a collaborative process. So that should go up in the next couple of days, and then we should start working on getting a finalized version of that email together as a working group. Going. One question I had that Jackie asked me before the week was over is, does this group that wants to be the bridge between All Streets and everybody else want to have a listserv list for us, or should we just communicate with loose email addresses? So I don't have an answer for that, but I was just going to email the 5 or 6 people that raised their hand at that point and say, the pad's up, let's have at it and try to see if we can converge. We'll probably need to have a phone call to get convergence. Most likely it's kind of hard to converge over email on the phone unless we really have amazing convergence. But But that's the next step, is for us to write that. And just to outline what I think is going to go in the email, this is what I have in the way of subjects to put in it. First of all, to outline the confusion that there has been, including, whoops, all right, I guess I'll have to get back on the stack again.
Okay. Not sure who did that. I'll go ahead and put yourself back on the stack. We've Chaz has been waiting a long time. Chaz, go ahead.
Hey there. I was on stack after everybody talked about what they want to do, I think, or what they're doing with the schedule, and it's buried in email somewhere. But I did read through the Alta Street schedule, and it seems to be like when does lunch occur, when does GA occur, and I think they did overreach in making some decisions, like we're going to have yoga every morning at 10, and we're going to have a GA style meeting to think about things at the end of the day around 9. But it wasn't like a schedule. I don't think it was a schedule where it's like they're like, man, this day is the environment day, and this day is this day, and things like that. And so that's all I wanted to say about what I was thinking they're doing with the schedule. Check.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, now we've got, let's see, we've got Jackie, we've got Sally, Tricia, then Cal. Jackie, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify, with this conversation about the emails and reaching out and all that, which I think is a great thing as far as like being, quote, official. But all these things have been said between on the list, private conversations that Sally and I had with them, and this is all of this stuff been put out, so it's not going to be anything new. Just something more binding, I guess. Check.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next we've got, let's see, Sally. Go ahead, Sally.
Oh boy, what was it? Oh yes, in terms of speakers, Skillshare folks, presenters, what have you, Jackie had put together an EtherCalc spreadsheet, which somehow accidentally got screwed up, and we did find that it was accident, not sabotage, which pleased us. Not that it got screwed up, but that it was just accidental. Alta Streets has requested that it be put on a Google Drive, Google Doc instead, because they can access that easier from their phones. And I think we intend to do that. I've once again dropped the ball. I don't know whether anybody has gotten that converted yet, but that's the plan. Check.
Okay, thank you. We've got, let's see, Tricia, and then we will have Cal. Tricia, go ahead.
I'm just clarifying. I'm the yoga teacher that they were talking to. So I'm one of the people that they were conversing with about this, and I was actually surprised that I got popped on the schedule like that. So I'm not sure how much coordination they're having with speakers or anything. I am willing to do yoga whenever and wherever, but I just wanted to put that out there that I am one of the speakers that they had, one of the presentations that they had set up. Check.
Okay, thank you, Tricia. We've got Cal followed by Julia. Cal, go ahead.
All right, so I'll just really briefly, these are the points that I imagine will go in this email that we're drafting. First would be outline the confusion and potential disgruntlement that there's been about what they're doing. Secondly, and these are not necessarily in order, assumptions that apparently been made about decisions that people think were made in Kalamazoo about this gathering that as far as I think we're concerned, are not binding, because until this working group actually got formed and Sacramento actually chose to do it, then there wasn't anything going. So I keep hearing about meetings that happened or decisions that were made up there, and I don't understand that. And I have a feeling that Alta Streets has been operating on the fumes and vapors of assumptions about decisions that weren't actually made. Next thing is areas of responsibility of the working groups. So we have the media group, this planning group, and the speakers and workshop, speakers and programs group, and so both defining, clarifying the areas of responsibility of each of those groups, as well as the active working relationship that Allstreets and us ought to have. And then the last point, which probably shouldn't be last, is the idea that this all has to happen in open groups that anybody can participate in who they want. And I don't ever recall seeing invitations to any of us to join their effort, and to find out that they've been doing all this stuff in a closed group just is so unoccupied-like. So I think clarifying that is probably at least important to do, and probably any other topics that the rest of y'all who are joining this effort think ought to be there. Check.
Okay. Thank you, Cal. Okay, I think Julia is the last person on stack. Cal, you got Twinkles from Gandalf and Kathy on that. Julia, go ahead.
Hi. Continuing on the concept that the openness of the Occupy and it not being closed off. As we move a lot of stuff over to G Drive, and G Drive being the main mainstream, more mainstream than Titan, it should, both pads and both working accounts should kind of be reflected, that what's happening over a lot of redundancy is basically what I'm saying. That way, people that are working here are getting the same message as people working there. That's all that I remember. Check.
Okay, thank you. And finally, we've got Sally.
Yeah, I don't expect that there will be a lot moved over to Google. The spreadsheet for the speakers or whatever we call them, but that would be pretty much about it. Everything else, as far as I know, would stick with the Titan pads. Check.
Thank you. And you get Twinkles from Jackie for that. And then finally, I'll give my 2 cents worth. I'm a little concerned about, I hear that they have been actually calling some of the speakers or attempting to call some of the presenters, and if they didn't reach them or get a call back within a certain time, they decided that these must not be serious or legitimate speakers. And so maybe they don't need to have a speakers list. I mean, we're going to be giving them the content. So that's all I have to say, except that we're going to be losing our TA in a couple of minutes. She has to go to another phone call. So if anybody would like to do technical assistance, I'm wondering, Chaz, I know you've got the conductor's dashboard. Press number 1 if you would be willing to do TA for the rest of this call. That would be wonderful.
I could definitely do it if Sally can take over on notes, but I don't think I could do both.
Sally, does that sound good to you? Are you willing to take over on notes?
Yes. In fact, I think I had suggested on an email earlier this afternoon that I could do hour 2 on notes if needed. Check.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Before he has to leave, let me open up Cal's mic. Cal, go ahead.
Yep, I'm off to the same InterOccupy call that Jackie is going to, and this is just a dovetail on what you last said when you gave your comments about the Allstreets, Lisa, and that is that somebody sent me a copy of a Facebook posting or an email or something in which somebody had attempted to apply to volunteer, and the response that they got was, your application to volunteer has been rejected. So for me, that indicates a problem right there. I just wanted to say that just another thing to pile on the heap of things that seem to have gone afoul with this. Check. And with that, I'm going to be out of here.
Okay. Well, thank you, Cal. A part of me would like to just go and say something to them right now, but it sounds like there's so many components to this that have to be addressed. It's not just the pamphlet book. It sounds like it's outreach. It's people contacting us who want to participate in some way, who are either being rejected or not fairly evaluated. So I think their communication is unfortunately really lacking.
Lisa?
So I'm going to propose that we wait.
Lisa, I've just been told that was a joke, that application rejected thing was a joke.
What? Oh, okay.
I don't understand. I'm going to have to dig further. Okay. So I withdraw that. That gets taken off the pile. I can't believe that somebody let me think that was actually true. Okay, check.
Thank you, and that's how bad rumors get started. Boo! Boo! Okay, April Fools, yes. Okay. A few days late. Anyway, we've got two more people on stack here. We've got Chaz followed by Sally. Chaz, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say I was reading in the staff chat that it was a joke. Apparently, it's not in good taste. It doesn't sound like, but yeah. Anyway, so it sounds like something All Streets would do. Check.
Okay. All right, Sally. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was going to say the only application-related thing that I remember seeing was a volunteer form that went around that was just like, this is what the volunteer form looks like. So I didn't see anything about a rejection in that. It was just like, this is a sample. This is not for real. Check.
Thank you very much. You know, that's the sort of thing that really damages relationships between groups when you have false information. So bad joke, somebody. Okay, well, I'm going to make a temp check proposal that we wait for the draft of the letter to come from Cal next week, and that would be our contact with All Streets rather than contacting them before the letter. If you like that idea, press a 2. If you don't like that idea, press a 3. And if you just want to stand aside on this issue, press 4. Okay, we still need to hear from me and Cal, who may have already left the call, Michael, Delphine, and Donna. If you don't have a strong feeling either way, you can go ahead and press 4. I'd like to get an affirmative from everyone of some kind of vote. Okay, Delphine. Delphine and Michael are the only ones who have not yet voted. And the question is, shall we, rather than jump the gun and contact All Streets right now, wait a week for Cal to finish his letter? We will discuss it on the next call, and he will send the letter out to All Streets. Okay, well, it looks like the 2s have it as far as numbers here. We've got 8 2s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 2s. And we do have a stand aside. Donna is a 3, and Delphine, you've got a 1. So did you want to address this issue? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm really sorry. I've been trying to follow the conversation, and I think it would have required that I had read more emails than I was able to this week. So I'm really sorry. I'm not clear enough on who and what of the question.
That's fine. Do you want to just stand aside then?
Maybe I should just stand aside to get out of the way.
That's fine. That's fine. We will wait for next week. There's one person, Donna, who pressed number 3. If you want to speak on this, you can go ahead and press number 1, Donna, and if not, I don't want to put you on the spot. Okay, Donna, go ahead. Your mic is on.
Yeah, I guess maybe I'm going to echo a little bit of what Delphine is saying. It seems to me that this letter has become so dramatic. From what I understand, All Streets is designing the booklet, just the booklet for the gathering. So I don't understand why they wouldn't be allowed just artistic freedom to work on that. And I know artists, they really need their freedom. It seems to me like making a big deal about writing them some kind of letter with some agreement. I don't know. I just don't know why it seems like such a process. I think that might upset them. That's just my opinion as a person who's a musician and myself as a creative person, that I think that they're just trying to create something. And I don't think that there were any controversies with that. I thought that was a joke, as you just said. So I guess I'm just confused. I yield. I apologize.
Oh, no apologizing at all. No, I'm glad you had your say. And actually, this vote sort of puts everything off until next week, and nothing will be done until next week. So maybe we will discuss that and decide is a letter too harsh, or maybe if you feel it needs to be toned down, you'll have an opportunity to do that. But we're punting till next week on this. So I yield. Let me go ahead and put all the hands down. We do have a predominant number of people voting for yes on this to put it over to next week. Okay, I'll put down all the hands. Everyone's hand is now down. And Sally, go ahead.
I guess I was a little confused. I didn't realize we were going to go and review the whole letter again next week, and I thought we were just going to let the group send out. We're talking a letter like it's a big deal. A note saying, "Hey, this is what we understand. How's by you?" So I don't know. I hate to open worms and revisit that. Check.
I guess, and Cal isn't here. Maybe he just feels like he hasn't finished the letter yet, and he wants it to be given another review. Okay, Kathy, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. One of the controversies is, like you were saying, is that they are contacting speakers and striking them off the list. That needs to be addressed.
Thank you. Yes. That definitely does that they shouldn't be contacting speakers. Okay, we've got a direct response from Julia. Julia, go ahead.
I think that from my understanding, that they're doing more than just the pamphlet. That they're actually doing a significant amount of the creativity, and I think the letter is kind of important, and communications are always important, even with creative folk. One of the ways to make sure somebody understood that a rejection letter for a volunteer, could have always done a rejection letter for a volunteer of Dick Cheney. That would have really been funny. But I haven't had a chance to really review the letter or any of that yet. So I think putting it off to next week, and they don't really know that we're putting off this letter, so they don't know it's a big deal. Yield.
Great. Thank you, Julia. You got twinkles from Chaz and Carrie on that last comment. Okay, it looks like that is going to be moved over to next week's business. Now to get to their other proposals. They have a proposal to do the cooking for us, and I believe they proposed a budget of $650. And let me try to pull up that paperwork here. So, Carrie, you've got your hands twinkling down on that. Are you twinkling down on the budget or having them handle the kitchen? What is your twinkle down for?
I'm twinkling down because, I mean, honestly, I did not up twinkle the last thing, but I may have misdialed on now out of the car shop and moving home. But anyway, I think we've gone way, way too far on this All Streets thing. It's been going on for 2 months, and I really think we got to nip it in the bud. And so I may have misvoted before, but on this topic, I really don't feel like they can dictate to us what their budget's going to be, and then we're going to raise it for them. We have 0. So check. That's my answer.
Okay. Thank you, Carrie. We've got a direct response from Sally. Sally, go ahead.
Yeah. Last year we tried to do food with no budget. We wound up dumpster diving, which worked out well, but it was kind of stressful if we didn't know whether there was going to be food. I'd like to know more about what they're proposing, how many people they think they can feed on $125. Is the extra day that there may be anti-racism training, at least it's been discussed, I don't know whether it was a final decision on the 30th, whether that day is included. And yeah, if we've got other bids, that's fine, but I do think we should have some kind of cooking budget, and that does not strike me as excessive, and I know they did a great job of feeding us last time. Check. I do think there were some hats passed last time for funding. I don't know exactly what the total dollar amounts came to. Check.
Okay, thank you. You got twinkles from Donna and Chaz on that. We should remember, too, that one of the reasons that we're talking about aligning ourselves with a nonprofit group is so that we can get tax-deductible donations. So we are not going to be without funds forever. Hopefully we would be able to raise funds for something like this. But let me just, their proposal is very, very brief. I will go ahead and read it for folks who haven't read it. This is All Street's proposal for kitchen budget. NatGat 13 was primarily organized by People's Kitchen, which is a part of them, I guess, a collaborative effort between Rainbow Family and Occupy Food. Last year, kitchen volunteers were unable to participate in workshops, skill shares, GA, and other activities. So this year, they would like a dedicated Wi-Fi signal. This ensures that the kitchen staff can participate remotely. Last year, the kitchen planned meals on the fly. Meal plans prepared in advance streamline resources and performance. So All Streets is requesting a budget of $125 a day. I don't know how many people that would feed. We have to clarify that. This would ensure resources are not wasted and food-related allergies concerns can be alleviated through pre-planning. And finally, last year, the kitchen staff needed transportation to satellite food, actions, and random incidents occurred that required additional resources. They request $150 for incidentals. So this, I believe, okay, their total here is 4 days at $125 plus the $150 for incidentals comes to $650. Without knowing how many people that feeds, it's very difficult to assess that. Donna, go ahead. Your mic is on.
Thank you. I just want to say that I thought that such an awesome job was done by everyone in the kitchen last year. I was so impressed, and it was such a hard job to do. I know everything was very tasty and very appreciated. I know I was helping the kitchen with a couple people who did have special dietary needs. So I do understand that at some point somebody might need something that we must get them because their diet requires it, even though in this case it was someone who needed to have meat protein when we were making mainly vegetarian, or they were making, I should say, not me, but they were making mainly vegetarian or vegan food. And so some people do have special dietary concerns. I don't think that the amount they've requested is excessive at all. In fact, it seems very, very low. But I would say that instead of making an approving this, or approving this request for this amount, I would suggest that we consider approving it initially, but if it seems like more might need to be allocated, if more people come and we discover that that will not be enough, that we leave room to be able to adjust that later on. But also I do want to, before I forget again, for this too, I think one of the things that we should definitely remember as far as this proposal is that I think everyone should be responsible for cleaning and doing their own dishes, somewhat as they would do as like a Buddhist retreat, where everyone immediately just washes their own dishes. And last year there were some problems with getting volunteers to clean up, and I know the staff was overworked and missed out on a lot of stuff. I really appreciated them. They gave so much love to it in everything they did, and they really were, I feel, not the work was not shared as it could have been. So those are just some comments. I yield.
Okay, thank you. That's a stunning recommendation. You've got up twinkles from me and from Julia on that. Chaz, go ahead if you want to weigh in on that. Your mic's on.
Yeah, I'm a professional catering chef for the last decade, and that is why I chose to bottom line food for last year's NatGat. And my main job, I guess, was to coordinate the dumpster dive food and the donated food, and our cooking team from the Turtle Soup Rainbow Kitchen was there. And so, there's a lot of donation in kind and free food that you end up getting. But for $125 a day, you can easily feed 200 people. 2 or 3 meals, depending on what we're going to do. But that said, when I chose the bottom line and I contacted Stephen Cottrell to talk to him about what happened in Philly, because there's so many more people in Philly, he had a staff of like 15 volunteers that worked 12 hours a day. He said it was the most unthanked work that he's ever done, but they fed about 10,000 meals to people over the course of 4 days in Philadelphia. It was a much bigger deal than what we did in Kalamazoo. But that said, the food was the most expensive thing at NatGat 1. I don't think that's the case for NatGat 2. So when we got together with the Rainbow people, we did a lot better with the price of food. Check.
Okay, thank you, Chaz. You got twinkles from Tricia on that. Does anybody else want to weigh in on this topic? Julia, go ahead.
Have we covered all the resources, such as Occupy Garden and Occupy the Farms, of being able to bring in fresh food? Being from the rural area, I'm not so familiar with dumpster diving. And I will try to get over to the pads and maybe reach out to a few of the Occupy, and I'm not familiar if Occupy Sacramento has an Occupy Garden yet, and is doing that. So I just wanted to surface that as an area of revenue. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Yes, and I wonder if All Streets is aware of that. Sally, go ahead.
Yeah, I just remembered that somebody showed up with a whole load of vegetables. We had fresh corn in the freezer all week, and people did bring in a whole lot of stuff. Check.
Great. Thank you, Sally. Okay. Any more comments on this? Go ahead, press number 1. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and put Sally's hand down. And it sounds like we're pretty much in agreement on this, but Tricia, go ahead.
What was I thought maybe we could make it into a budget item as opposed to a grant. We could have this as a budget item, so then other groups can also put together their budget, and when we go to raise money, we can have people know what their money is going for. So instead of approving this, we could just have it as a goal in our budget. Check.
Okay. So I guess that would be a Chaz likes that. You got twinkles from him on that. I think what I would like to do, though, and maybe just in public relations in light of what might be a little bit contentious when Cal comes back with his letter and we send that, I would like to go ahead and just take a temp check. If you like the idea of All Streets handling the kitchen and you're good with the budget that they have proposed for us, go ahead and press number 2 on your keypad. If you, and this is not hard and fast. This is just a temp check whether you like this particular proposal. 3 if you don't, and 4 if you want to just stand aside on this vote. And 1 if you want to speak. Delphine, go ahead.
Yes, hi. This is Delphine. Briefly, I just want to make sure that there is adequate communication, because it sounds as though there may not be adequate communication between Occupy Sacramento and All Streets thus far, although I may be missing something based on the conversation on the calls, on this call. And I'm sorry, I have a lot of emails up with, and I'm sick today. But my concern is just that there may be assumptions on the part of All Streets or others from outside of Sacramento that we have certain resources here that we may not. And I'm concerned, I mean, coming from the Bay Area where I did a lot of dumpster diving and Food Not Bombs work, I feel that what I've seen in Sacramento, and I'm not so familiar with surrounding areas such as West Sac or other cities and areas, but from what I've seen, there is not as nearly as much availability of dumpsters as there was in the Bay Area that I was familiar with. So maybe I'm just not clued in on that here, because I've had, I don't know, I haven't had to dumpster dive as much since I moved here. But I just want to make sure we're not assuming things about Sacramento, just like Kalamazoo. And the same goes for other resources that were discussed, like kitchens and Wi-Fi. I just want to make sure that we all have, that we know what we're actually talking about in terms of costs above and beyond the fees that they requested, because we need to be realistic. Check.
Thank you, Delphine. That brings up an excellent point. Is this a very, very kind of a lowball bid because they're expecting to get food out of our dumpsters? If they do, like Delphine said, they're going to be very disappointed because most of our dumpsters are locked. Many are locked. Carrie, you voted opposed this. Did you have anything you wanted to share about your reservations about using All Streets for the kitchen?
Yeah, how can they possibly source local stuff from New Jersey or New York or wherever they are? Am I clear that we're not happy with them running the program, but we're totally okay with them doing a kitchen from 3,000 miles away? Check.
That is a very good point. I assumed that they would come and source it locally from here. But I think, like Delphine said, one of the most important things, and I almost feel like restating my temp check, that we would like them to do the kitchen, but they have to stay in very, very close communication with us. Regular communication where we can get them easily, they can get us easily, because, yes, we don't want surprises. Donna, go ahead.
Yeah, just a direct response to that. Is there any way that we could possibly find out if someone from All Streets is planning on being in Sacramento as soon as possible to ascertain all of these things and actually be working on the ground from here? I yield.
Great. Thank you, Donna. And I know we're having a liaison group, or somebody is a liaison between our group and All Streets who could mention that. Julia, go ahead, followed by Chaz.
Yeah, I've actually worked in food services also. I've actually served 2,500 down in the Antarctica. So I'm okay with this proposal, and I also did check into some of the Wi-Fi situation, and that seems very doable at a with a little bit of engineering ingenuity. And there's no reason that whomever does the kitchen, volunteers in the kitchen, they should have access just as well as all else. That's just nice, being polite. And as for their proposal, generally overall, it looks good. No matter whom might want to do it, whether it is them or it becomes a cooperative effort of the local or someone else or whatever. It's overall is a good idea. Yes, there needs to be Wi-Fi there so the staff can do their work and feel a part of the group. And $125 with good support from the community should eliminate the need for dumpster diving. Yield.
Thank you. Okay, we've got Chaz, followed by Sally. Chaz, go ahead.
Yeah, this is a direct response for Donna. As far as I know, Sparrow is hitchhiking/train riding to get to the West Coast over the course of this month and next month, so that All Streets can have a physical presence in Sacramento. That said, it's the Rainbow National Gathering. If people don't know, it's been meeting for 3 decades, and it's going to occur on the border of Utah and Nevada over the week of July 4th. So that really ties in well with our July 31st date, because the people need to clean up after the 20,000 campers in the Rainbow Gathering, so they'll be cleaning up, and then right after that, whoever wants to come and join up with the NatGat will be able to easily get from the border to Sacramento. So I'd expect to have help from the Rainbow people because of the timing of this. I think it's really good timing. Check.
Okay, well, that's good to know. Thank you, Chaz. You got twinkles from Donna and Julia for that. Next on stack is Sally. Go ahead.
What was it? I don't remember. Never mind. Check.
Okay. All right. Press number 1 when it comes back. So it sounds like the temp check was very much we like the concept of All Streets doing our kitchen and cooking for us, but we definitely need some more details. Okay, the next item we've got on new business is we will get to after Donna speaks. Donna, go ahead.
Hi, I just wanted to make a comment too that if All Streets is requiring Wi-Fi, then we can also just possibly think of having a Wi-Fi area that's near the kitchen as well for others to use, like have it be a hotspot area for whatever we're doing as well. So I don't know whether people might think that that might be something asking too much or whatever. I don't think it is, but we could also consider just making an area there. That way the kitchen would always have people that would be around to help them when they need it as well. I yield.
Thank you. I think that would be excellent. I've been reading about these portable hot spots that you can set up, and it would be great for all the NatGat participants. Let's see, we've got Julia followed by Sally, and you got twinkles from Chaz on that last one, Donna. So Julia, go ahead.
Yeah, I kind of had done some research on this and a little knowledgeable on it. I also second the idea that the kitchen area, lounge area, gathering spot area have a space that not only hotspot but perhaps a broadcast. Creating a broadcast stream is not that difficult at all. It pretty much just requires a projector and a white a white background. It's not difficult. So that area should perhaps be a good area for moms to go, or for rest and relaxation, to cool down, to cool temp, or just whatever. And incorporate that with the kitchen staff. That would let them see the speakers and be a part of all of it. Yield.
Okay, thank you, Julia. Lots of support from that, from Chaz, myself, and Donna, that idea. And we, Occupy SAC venue planners, take that into consideration when we're planning out our venue. It looks like Sally wants to weigh in. Sally, go ahead. Your mic is on.
Yeah, I'm just warning you that my battery is dying. But no, what I want to say was last year I had suggested the company Freedom Pop, which has been around for like 2 years now. And their motto is, the Internet is a right, not a privilege. They sell mobile hotspots. If they were willing to donate some services, some hotspots, whatever, on a rental, cheap rental or temporary donation, I think that could be a good source for us. Check.
Okay, thank you, Sally. I think you've got approval to check that out. I see Chaz, myself, Donna, Julia have all weighed in yes on the hotspot. So that's something we will take into consideration, and we will make it happen. Okay, the next item on the agenda is the use of Loomio to make NatGat decisions. And unfortunately, the two people who are most knowledgeable about Loomio are Cal and Jackie, and they are not on the call. So I will just briefly talk about what it is, and if anybody wants to weigh in or you have a comment, just press number 1. Loomio is a little bit like the Google Docs, where everybody can look at document and share, and it's wonderful, though. We can make comments. It's limited to one topic too, so you don't have to read through a zillion emails, and some of them pertain to what you're interested in, some not. And so it's a place somebody can make a proposal, people can weigh in, sort of like having a discussion at a GA, and there is a great mechanism for voting right there on Loomio. I don't think it would replace our votes on these calls. I don't know if it would be done maybe in addition, people who can't make it to these calls. Sally, go ahead. Or Sally, I'm sorry, you're twinkling that you like that idea. I believe that probably Jackie sent out invitations to folks to go ahead and test this Loomio out. So if anybody has tested it out, has any comments about it, go ahead and press number 1. Sally, go ahead.
Yeah, I did test it out. I do think it's a good place to have discussions on specific topics. I don't think it does replace the votes on this call. I think this call, at least for now and probably for the duration of this NatGat, this is the deciding body. But I do think that we should put our questions up there early so that more people can participate, and we can take that information into consideration when we make our discussion, so that we can start with a leaning toward whatever the consensus on that seems to be, if it gets well used. The reason I feel that it doesn't replace is you don't really have that live back and forth, that even though we don't see each other face to face, we do have a live, actual person-to-person discussion on a call, and I don't want to give that up to just staring at a screen. But it does organize the discussion very well. Check.
Great. Thank you, Sally. And Julia, you've also got a comment. Go ahead.
One of my main concerns about Lumina was that we were adding yet another avenue, that it was getting thinned down, watered down, that there was no one location for me to go and catch up with. I at first was like, oh, no more. Information, too many places overloaded. You don't have, anyway. I took a look at it, and it seems very suitable. It does have a chat area, which is important for me. Quite frankly, if we had if I had this online and we were also on the computer, I would honestly be voicing my opinion via typing and chatting than I would be actually talking into this microphone. So I like the fact that there's a place for us to gather to be able to chat and see who's there, and actually meet up there and being able to chat and talk to each other using a computer. So that said, it seems like a good thing as long as it doesn't get really thin down. We do have the web page coming up, and there can always on the web page, be a working area. I don't think that's too difficult. I hadn't really dove into that area yet, so I yield. That was kind of the.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Julia. Okay, you got twinkles from Chaz and Carrie on that. If anybody else has any more comments, I encourage everybody to go ahead, sign up for it, test it out. And to address what Julia is saying, I agree, and I would like people to decide which way they like best. Do we prefer making decisions and having conversations on emails, or do we like Lumio better, or is there a Facebook app that is better, or would we rather do the old-fashioned Google groups? I agree. There are too many places. Like I posted Gandalf's vision statement, and evidently I didn't post it in enough places. We have our Titan pad too, so it's very hard to know where to post something to make sure that everybody reads it. So we can't do that on this call, but I'd like to for next week when we have our Lumio experts here to really have a discussion and consider making some strong decisions about where we want to post things that are of great importance to the whole group. Thank you for the twinkles on that. Let's see who we have. Sally, go ahead.
Yeah, one of the advantages to Lumio is that it's not in real time. You can go and check in at your own schedule and see, contribute to the discussion as a kind of asynchronous basis. So that's a good point. I don't think there is going to ever be one place to find everything. We're just too diverse a group. We have too many different preferences. Check.
Okay, Sally, it does seem daunting. We've got Donna followed by Julia. Donna, go ahead.
Thank you. Well, I just want to say that with a little less than 4 months to go, it seems to me that trying to change things at this point would be a little bit confusing. I prefer to mainly make this call the main call. I do agree that it seems like we're spreading out and people are starting to fall behind in the information. So anything people can do to help keep everything in one place is what I feel is the best idea. But then also, if someone could please clarify for me, will I be able to use Lumio on my phone? I have not yet had a chance to test it or look at it. And then also, is it possible to consider that many people are doing a lot of work on their phone, and that the platforms we choose, especially towards the time that the NatCat date becomes closer, many of us will be traveling, so it will be pertinent for us to be able to be on the road and possibly conversing on the phone. So I just want that, first of all, to be put out as a consideration ahead of time so we don't run into problems later. But the least amount of platforms, the best, obviously. The ones that are compatible by phone will be the best overall, especially at the late time. But then also, is Loomio available on the phone? I yield. Thank you.
Thank you. You bring up an excellent point, and we'll make sure that's discussed next week. Julia, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to reiterate what she has to say. You know, it's very important that it be mobile. Where I use my phone toggled, there's a lot of people that are strictly mobile and even doing emails by their telephone screen, and that needs to be empathized. So with, I do think Lumina is user friendly to the mobile apps. I propose, or I'll try to remember to get this over on the pads, that we kind of start moving over to the website. It's there. No reason not to be using that as a centralized point. This phone call, for me, is you know, it is what it is. It's easier to go to a centralized location and check in when I can. But tying up my phone lines is killing me. I just don't have the dedicated resources and to tie up a phone line for 2 hours because it also ties up my mobile lines. So this telephone, though I've showed up a lot. Well, not a lot, but I'm new to the game also. But there's going to be other folks that the phone it's just so old school, folks. Anyway, I yield.
Okay, great. Thank you, Julia. You got twinkles from Donna on that. Sally, go ahead.
Yeah, I hope that the new application that Cal found will solve the phone line problem for you. Check.
Yeah, I hope that will. Though I sure hope that it works better than Skype, because we've had people try to call into conference calls on Skype, and it just was really very frustrating. They weren't able to speak. They could hear, but they couldn't speak in some circumstances. Well, it sounds like we'll have a good discussion on this next week when we have our experts here. There are pros and cons. I know there are people who would like to have input on this, but for whatever reason aren't on these calls, but they may have valuable information to share. Even if we don't end up using it for voting, it'd be good to have a place for people to input information on particular topics. Okay, well, I think we will need to talk about the fiscal sponsor next week. Sally, go ahead.
There is, of course, many places on TitanPads to share information as well. Do you want me to say a little bit about fiscal sponsors, or?
If you want to just, we do have 15 minutes left. We don't have Jackie here or the other people who were greatly in favor of it, but go ahead and talk about it. That'd be fine.
Okay. Basically, there's kind of two rationales for a fiscal sponsor. The first is that if you have a 501c3 as a sponsor, people can make donations that are tax deductible. As much as we may have our theories about taxes and governments and all that stuff, it can help. The other thing is that these folks have financial expertise. Janet, who is over the roads, is looking to get their 501c3 confirmed in the next week or so as one of the options, as is Alliance for Global Justice. Janet's a bookkeeper. Alliance for Global Justice has professionals. It takes a lot of that worry out of our hands. Yes, it costs money, but it's a service that is kind of specialized and might be one of the things worth paying for. Check.
Okay, yes, thank you. So basically what we'll be talking about next week is whether we want to pay somebody to do what would amount to giving us or letting us use their 501c3 status, so contributions would be tax deductible when people donate to us, which is very good. And also we would get a number of accounting services from them. For example, the Alliance for Global Justice, what they would do, they would set up a donation link. They would send checks to vendors that we asked them to do that, send checks to people on the ground. They would handle all tax matters. With the other group, OTR, they would give us a debit card that we could use locally. They also handle tax matters, set up a donation link. My question that I will ask next week is, can we split these? Because Stephen Payan still insists that there are two nonprofit groups who would let us kind of umbrella in under their nonprofit status. So would we be able to kind of cherry pick, and maybe we wouldn't need the 501c3 status from Alliance for Global Justice, but maybe it would be great to have their accounting services. So thank you. It's got the twinkle from Chaz, and Donna, go ahead. You've got a comment.
Yes, just if we're going to be discussing this next week, I'd just like to ask that people have as much information about all of these prospective fiscal sponsors as possible to reduce further research time on it. I do know that Janet from Occupy the Roads is an occupier, so that's not like using an outside person, in my opinion. I'd like to go more with people that have always been maybe part of the movement rather than people that are outside of the movement. So that's just my 2 cents. Thank you so much. I yield.
Okay, thank you. And as far as information, there was information put on Lumio about this, but I don't know if there was information sent out on the email list or other platforms. Sally, go ahead.
Yeah, there was an email sent to the financial working group. I don't know whether it made it onto the bigger list at this point. We should certainly do that before next week. Alliance for Global Justice has sponsored a lot of Occupy-related things. Occupy Sandy, New Jersey, last year's NatGat, and I believe some of the Occupy Wall Street, New York folks as well. So they have kind of become one of us. Also, check.
Sally, would you be willing to forward that?
And saved me on the PAMF book on Wednesday, the day before, and then finished it off and printed a whole bunch for us. So,
wow. Anyway, would you be willing to forward that email out to the whole list?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone who's not on that? I think what is that? The NatGat 2014 list. Go ahead and press number 3. Otherwise, I'll assume that everybody will be able to get that on the email list. It has a real nice bullet point list of what they do, and the pros and the cons of having a fiscal sponsor. So let's all read that before the next week's call, so we can know what we're going to be discussing. And I'm having trouble deciding between the two myself. Okay, twinkles from Donna. I think that is going to be it for our meeting. We're ending early, hooray. So I'll just go ahead and turn on everyone's mic, and you can all check out and enjoy the rest of your evening. Thanks for a very good call, all of you. Thank you. Good night. Mike's
Somebody fell asleep.
Hey, everybody. So much.
Hi, everybody. Hello. Is Delphine there? Or Stephen?
Delphine's here.
Hi, I'm here.
Hi, Delphine. Is Stephen Payan there?
No, he's not on the
We're
call.
not in the same location. I don't know. I haven't spoken with him today.
I was just curious if he was on the call because I did talk to him.
No, he wasn't on the call.
Okay.
He's one of those who could probably benefit from something like Lumio because he doesn't.
He said that place in Woodland, that school is looking really good.
Yeah. Yep. I want to talk to him about that. So.
Yeah, he said. Yeah. Okay.
So, yes, I think this Saturday we'll definitely talk about venues more, and I'm going to try to get him to come to the Saturday meeting.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.